the team and an overview of Silverleaf Solutions. Next, Saurabh Patari, Regional Sales Head at Flexera, will talk about cloud optimization, driving financial and operational agility. We'll then have around 10 minutes of Q&A. Feel free to drop your questions in the chat at any time during the session, and we'll address them at the end. And then we wrap up the session. So starting with round of introductions, my name is Prerna and I have been with Silverleaf for around 9.5 years now. And in my role, I focus on driving growth, building strategic partnerships, and helping businesses unlock new opportunities. I'm joined by my colleague Akshay and Vanshika, who are equally passionate about helping businesses navigate the complexities of IT investments. We are honored to have Mr. Mayank Srivastav, founder and CEO at Silverleaf Solutions, and Mr. Sushruth Bharti, Vice President, Business Development and Strategy. Both bring nearly 2 decades of experience across top OEMs. We also have Mr. Sunny Tusu, SAM Director at Silverleaf Solutions. So before we dive in, a quick introduction of who we are. Silverleaf Solutions is a global independent research-based advisory firm specializing in software licensing, IT cost optimization, software asset management, and cloud optimization. Founded in 2015 and headquartered in Gurgaon, we operate across India, the US, Australia, Singapore, and the UAE, delivering measurable financial impact and governance maturity for enterprises. With a diverse team of licensing specialists, cloud architects, tax experts, and former leaders from Microsoft, SAP, EY, IBM, Oracle, and BCG, our mission is simple: to ensure every enterprise achieves predictable, compliant, and cost-optimized IT operations with guaranteed annual savings of 12 to 15%. Let me begin with a reality check from 2025. By mid-2025, GDPR penalties have exceeded 6 billion euros, and the new EU AI Act introduces fines up to 35 million euros or 7% of global turnover, marking a new financial reality for CIOs, CISOs, CFOs, and compliance leaders. Global regulations like CCPA, HIPAA, and India's data laws are tightening, and a single misconfigured SaaS app or ungoverned AI workflow can cost more than an entire year of optimization savings. At the same time, nearly half of large enterprises have paid over $1 million in software audit penalties in last 3 years, while unmanaged cloud and AI workload are causing 20 to 50% budget overspend. Organizations are losing money twice through surprise audit fines and silent cloud waste. With regulators demanding real-time governance, not just policies, AI oversight has become a compliance requirement. As cloud spending approaches $1 trillion, the leaders will unify cost optimization, governance, visibility, AI-driven forecasting, and business-aligned FinOps to drive resilience and ROI. And that is why exactly today we are here today. So we are here to decode the complexities of cloud platforms, SaaS ecosystem, licensing models, and AI governance, and give leaders the clarity required to make smarter, faster, data-driven decisions. With that, let's begin this important conversation and dive into insights that will shape cloud optimization in 2026 and beyond. On that note, let me invite Saurabh, who will share some detailed insights on the topic. Over to you, Saurabh.
Thank you, Prerna. Thank you so much for inviting me and then giving this opportunity to really speak to all the participants in this webinar. Thank you so much for everyone taking this time out. I'm going to speak a little bit on the cloud cost optimizations from Flexera and where the industry is going, why is it important, and why you should really look for this kind of solutions which can not just bring optimizations, but also keeping the house in order, like a lot of stuff that goes in manual activity, how can that be automated? That having said that, Prerna, can you go to the next slide? Yeah, this is one statistics. I don't know how many of you would know this statistics, 100 million user in 7 years, while I have an answer in my following slides. And this is very interesting. So to the next slide, please. And, yes, now here if you see, this is how the adoptions of technology has been in the industry. The last line, World Wide Web, the internet, it took 7 years to achieve 100 million users. And if you see ChatGPT, it just took 2 months to reach the same 100 million user. And DeepSeek, the data can be misleading for all of us, but it says just 7 days to arrive at 100 million users. Now, this shows that all of us, like we use WhatsApp, Facebooks, and Instagrams and everything. And this technology adoption is increasing for all of us. And this is ever changing and ever growing. And that brings a lot of complexities in how we manage and how we really tackle this kind of an ever growth that is happening in the industry. Next slide, please. Now, if you look at previously, the technologies were always very much manageable. Like it was more of an client server architecture where everything was confined to the data center. All of us had to go to an office and just access all those listed applications. And it was very easy to manage also from an IT point of view. But as we progress further and as the technology really evolved, the whole landscape also have changed. To the next slide, please. So here, if you see, just click once, bring up the slides. Bring up the whole slide, please. Yeah. So here, if you see the whole landscape is really changing and it becoming complicated day by day. If you see what used to be in desktops and the data center base technology that used to really run in every organizations, now the shift is moving to the cloud SaaS and of late the AI technology that is coming up. It is like the adoption is really growing, ever growing in this particular arena, and I believe that the AI is going to take over in days to come in. And organizations are really finding it very difficult to make sure that they get the right value from each dollar that is being spent in each of these technologies. The explosive growth in AI is just going to increase this problem again. To the next slide, please. And now this brings to one more, some of the findings by Gartner, which says that currently, I guess, as per Gartner, that around $20,000 is getting spent on each of the employee on the technology, and because of this spend, now this also brings a lot of complexities where the visibility becomes risk, the spend and risk becomes much more kind of an evident in today's world. Another interesting piece from Gartner is that on the cloud spend, which every organization is doing it, 30% is getting underutilized, which is a sheer kind of a waste of the company resources in terms of the finances. Now, then AI coming in, this is going to increase in a much multifold way. And we are also anticipating, as per Gartner, that by 2026, the spend on AI itself is going to be $300 billion. Now, that brings a lot many complexities in the way we manage our show. To the next slide, please. But what is more important today is like organizations or the leaders, they are trying to see that what am I using, or do I really get the value from the technology spend that I do today? And if I'm doing the spend, how much am I using it? How is that getting? Am I getting the value from this technology spend that we do? The costing that goes in, how much is it costing? Because what happens in large organizations, multiple departments, multiple business group, multiple geographies, they try to have their own way of consuming technology, and that becomes a much more complex way and risky way in terms of not knowing what you are using it. And this is changing and increasing on a regular basis. To the next slide, please. Yeah, bring up the whole slide. Now, this is what we try to really help organizations with our FinOps technologies. Perhaps this is some of the challenges that all organization faces. starting with the spend visibility across multi-cloud. Now, if I have an AWS and Azure and GCPs and OCIs and multiple, now bringing them together and having them one single view is what is the need of the hour. Because of course I can go to the individual cloud, but then again managing becomes even more complex. Now that's something that we really help organization in, first of all, giving the complete spend visibility on all the cloud that you have. How is all the internal reportings and external reportings that you really need, because that's what the first thing that you do. The second thing would be the financial management, how the cost allocation is getting done between the business units, the region, the across the geographies, the show back and the charge back mechanisms, the budgeting and the forecasting. Because we have seen that with our interaction, many customers, that these are in some pieces, some bits and pieces, some way it will be a lot of manual activity that goes in, or in some cases they don't have this, maybe the chargeback or the budgeting visibility currently. The third would be the cloud spend optimization, which brings the important topic in today's world, because if, as per Gartner, if you're talking about 30% is getting wasted in all our cloud spend. Now, what are the ways and what are the possibilities of really reducing the cost? So what, as in FinOps platform, what we really try to help you is kind of bring those cost optimization in place, either in the rate optimizations or usage optimizations, ensuring that you have a complete visibility, all the underutilized resources, and then take the corrective actions. And last but not the least is also about an operational efficiency, because what you've seen is that most of the time, the amount of manual effort that goes into of data collection, then generating all the reports together, that takes a longer time, and those are unproductive time as well. But what if the whole thing was automated? Something like there are a lot of unused snapshots or unused IPs that are there in the cloud. Now, if it is possible to really automatically just get them deleted, some of the activities which can reduce the manual effort. And those are the operational efficiencies and agilities that you're talking about. So as a Flexera, as an offering that we do is we try to really build on all this business case or the use cases for organizations. To the next slide, please. Yeah, so most of the cases, most of the time now we are talking about from the cloud FinOps point of view, we are saying that we start with the crawl phase, which is kind of maybe an early stage or the first step in how we are adopting the cloud. Now, Flexera as a tool, we are completely FinOps certified. We help you to really take the journey from the crawl, walk to run. And this, the first step that comes is more from an inform phase, where, of course, we try to ingest the cloud billing data from multiple sources and try to give you everything on a single pane of glass. And then you see where the spending is going on and where how can you really see that, okay, from all the business groups and all the departments, and have a single view of how the spend is going on. The second thing would be then optimize, where we really try to help you in getting a better value from what you have already paid for. Are there any rate changes you can utilize, shut down some VMs, or unuse some right size or existing VMs? So those are some of the operational activities that we really help you out from the optimized point of view. And the last is more from an operate side of it. Once you have everything in place, then what are the actionable optimizations that you can really generate? How can you really put the budgeting and the forecasting in place, having a proper guardrails and keep a track of the spend, which should not exceed your budget. So as a Flexera, as a solutions, we are really kind of following the FinOps practice and ensuring that we have everything in place for you to really succeed in the FinOps platform. Go to the next slide, please. Now, this talks about a high-level architecture diagram, and this talks about that we are trying to pull the data from multiple sources, be it AWS, Azure, or GCPs, via an API pull. We also use Focus and cloud building ingestions, which is if you have something on the private cloud as well. So that private cloud data can also be pulled in. And even if it is an OCI or VMware Cloud or even Ali Cloud, all the data comes in and we have this bill ingestions in place. Following to that is where the series of activity that happens. Either it can be the report generations of your consumption, your how the resources are being used, and all those reportings can be done. Then the trending analysis, your budgeting forecasting, everything related to that. You can also bifurcate the cost allocations depending on multiple groups, multiple departments, multiple organizations within your company. So that organization structure can be achieved. Then we also then followed up by the lot of recommendation that comes in, either in the rate reductions or in the usage reductions, and so that like you get an optimization in coming in place. And of course, then we also integrated a lot of other capabilities where the same data can be used for your CMDBs, for your ticketing systems, and different use cases altogether. So what Flexera is one of such tools in the market where you can really have multiple sources, including multiple clouds, everything under one single dashboard, and then take the corrective actions accordingly. Can you go to the next slide, please? Yeah, just populate the whole slide. And if you look at this slide, this is more from the FinOps foundations, and Flexera as a tool, we really kind of have capabilities to address each of these domains and capabilities, be it understanding the cloud usage, where the data ingestion happens, or the bringing a lot of business value in terms of forecasting and budgeting, or optimizing the cloud usage. And that's where the rate reductions and usage reductions, so that you get an optimization coming in place, and following the policies and the governance in place with a complete assessment in place. So we are kind of following each of the practice of the FinOps Foundation. Can you go to the next slide, please? Yeah, and this we are talking about the differentiations from Flexera One now. There could be many situations where you already have a tool from the native vendor, but then again, here are some of the differences that we really try to bring in. And to start with, we are talking about common billing ingestions from any cloud coming in together, be it Azure, as GCPs or AWS, and in all standards format. We also bring, as I was in my previous slide, I said that from any other cloud as well, even if it is an Oracle cloud that you're using or any other localized, even the private cloud, if you're using it, that's also something that we really ingest and try to bring everything in one single dashboard. Following to that is something that we try to give you a multi-cloud reporting, both from the tabular format or in the different currency options, and INR or USDs or euros. So that's something that we really try to bring in. The third would be the customizable and extensible policies. Unlike a traditional native tool, there is a set format of what you get the recommendations. There are no optimization possibility in those recommendations that you get. But in the case of Flexera One, what we do is we also give you that extensive policy engine by which you can customize that what should be the CPU range, what should be the memory range, and accordingly, what should be the recommendation that you look for, whether it is a very aggressive plan or it is a very moderate plan. So accordingly, the system really changes, and that ownership is given to you to really do the changes according to your organization's needs. Then comes the governance and the policies, where a lot of stuffs can be really automated, unlike a traditional way of looking at your existing cloud vendors tools, where even if you get the recommendations, it's something that you wouldn't really need to do all the activities. But with Flexera One, you have these capabilities to really bring those insights in place and bring a lot of automations in place. Maybe the snapshots or the IP addresses which are unused, so you can automatically give those actions that, okay, just to delete all those snapshots, old snapshots greater than 30 days. So all those policies can be really governed here, and then that's something that you can really bring up. The power scheduling your VMs or finding missing tags and remediate them as required, or automate the right sizing for specific environments. Those are some of the policies that you can really trigger by yourself. We also help you in kind of an pricing tiers of and percentage of the spends of over usage, product pricing in tier base, so we can always consistently and have a known cost that how my pricing is really going on. And Flexera One is one single platform where Flexera is really known in the market more from an ITAM point of view and IT asset management and SAM management. Silverleaf is one of our pioneers partners who really work together with us. And as a Flexera One platform, you not just have this ITAM component coming in, but also the FinOps thing. Now we are talking about and having one single platform to manage your the softwares and applications which are on your on-prem as well as on your cloud, and bringing everything under the one single dashboard. And from the support services, of course, we are here to help to make you successful. Tool is only as good as how the people who run it, and I think so that's where some of the expertise that we bring in along with our partner Silverleaf. And we have some senior FinOps staff as well who contributes for the FinOps foundations, and that has been our constant progress in terms of contributing for the FinOps foundations. And you have a team of FinOps specialists who can help you in this FinOps journey. So this is an overview about Flexera One. If there is any questions or anything that comes in your mind, anyone, I think so I can take it up. And yeah, so I think so we're done for the presentation piece per se.
Anybody, any questions? You can please unmute yourself and ask the question, or you can type in the chat box, or you can raise your hand. Yes, Sushil, please go ahead.
So sort of one thing like you mentioned for the snapshots, okay? So
Yeah.
suppose in some scenarios we have to keep the snapshot for more than 6 months. So
Okay.
in the Flexera tool, we have configured that scenario where snapshot can be deleted of 30 days. So the snapshot which we want for 30 days can be excluded for any from any policy, or how it will handle.
Yeah. So how we can do is like under the one single dashboard, when you show all the cloud spends and all the optimization possibilities, we can then configure it in such a way that for each department wise, if you think so, or each organization wise, you can again have a separate visibility on that. Now on the snapshot piece that you are mentioning, like if something that for one department or one organizations or one business unit, you want to keep those snapshot for longer, but for the rest of the things, you want to keep it for shorter period. So those kind of a customization is absolutely possible. It is not that one rule fits everything. You have then options to really customize the way you want to really make use for your business team. So having something for after 30 days, it gets deleted automatically. That's possible. But for some departments, maybe another for 6 months, you want to keep it and let it get retained. That's also is absolutely possible.
Also, there is a scenarios for some cost optimizations. Suppose my VM is a production VM, and Flexera is suggesting to shut down it.
Yeah.
To optimize the cost. So how
Yeah.
that scenarios can be handled here?
Yeah. So what Flexera does is, let me see if I can bring up something for you. Just hold on. Now that's the beauty of Flexera that we try to help you. Just hold on. Let me just try to share my screen, and then I'll take you to my demo platform if I can show. I'm not that technically expert, but I'll try to still show you. Just a minute. Yeah, you're able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So when I go to my dashboard, And as I said, that this particular Flexera one is having multiple capabilities, including our SAM managements and item managements, and including the cloud as in one single platform. Now, if I go to my dashboard of cloud, I can then see that what is my consumptions across all different clouds, and how much am I spending on maybe Azure, GCP, and AWS, and anything else or any other services that you look at. I can then, if this is on a monthly wise, I have and give options to really go on a quarterly wise, that okay, show me only for last 4 quarters, and then the data will automatically change that okay, how my quarterly that I'm trying to really see the spend together. This also gives you a lot of views in terms of what my spends are as it populates. Yes, so I can then see that okay, show me only my AWS spends. So maybe I can just remove the rest and then see only my AWS spends, and accordingly then I can see how the trends are going in and how much am I spending on it. So these are some of the views that you see. And the question that you have asked was, if you can just repeat the question, I just missed it.
Suppose I have a
Yeah.
production VM and
Yeah.
Flexera tool is recommending me a auto
Yeah.
shutdown for that VM.
Yeah, sure. So when I go to these optimizations, now what I can see here is more from a rate reductions and the usage reduction. These are two different ways of optimization that is possible in our platform. When I go to the rate reductions, and you can see that there are multiple ways of compute database and old snapshots or unused IP addresses, and there are so many things that the recommendation is coming through. Now, here there is also something called as, I may not be able to give you the complete picture, but I'll try to see if I can help you. So we have something like that can be customized, like the way you want to really set the tool. As I was telling that this can be you have the capabilities to really make it as either in very aggressive policies or very moderate policies or very lenient policies. What do I mean by that is you have the capabilities to set for a production environment, make it very lenient kind of of recommendations, let it come in, but for a UAT environment or a test environment, make it very aggressive. So depending on the environment, you can really set the optimization, this policies, and accordingly the suggestions will come to you. So that kind of an customization is possible in Flexera tool. I hope I could answer your question in that way.
Yeah, but the thing is like in production environments, if I am getting a recommendation from Flexera, right, to optimize the cost, right?
Yes.
So it has a capabilities to analyze the backend trends like what we are having from last 3 months. The CPU, if CPU utilization is having more than 80% or 90%, then it may be considered as a production environment or something.
You have an option to really kind of define how you which the production environment and the UAT environment. Depending on that, on each of this environment, you again have this options of customizing the way you want to really bring these optimizations on top of those environments. So here, if you see the right size computing, it is showing as I'm just taking one example of Azure right size compute instance where you're talking about that. What is the CPU utilizations? What is the minimum average, the minimum, and the maximum? And also it just talks about the P90 and P95, that CPU utilization as well. It also talks about the memory utilizations, that how this is really coming in from the maximum to minimum. And accordingly, I am the resources that I'm using currently and what is the recommendation it comes in. So if I'm using a V5, D16 V5, here it is recommending as a D4 V3. So those are some of the recommendations it can really throw in. Now, here if you see from an 5 V5, it has gone to the V3. It is a little bit more of an aggressive plan that I'm trying to see threshold statistics maximum. Show me the maximum possibilities of reducing the resources. In a similar way, I have as a minimum as an average and a maximum. So these things I can really customize depending on the workload, depending on the business group and the business unit. So that kind of an customization is possible here.
Okay, yeah, got it. That is the answer I wanted, because if we are suggesting something, we should not automate it, we should plan it, because we have to take the application should not hamper.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So
that is okay.
So unlike in the traditional way of what you get from Azure or AWS, it is just one straight recommendations that you get. This is it, and there is no way that they understand the business unit wise. But what Flexera tries to help you is, in one business unit or a production environment, you want to be very lenient. Let's keep that way. For the UAT and test environment, let us keep it maximum optimization possibilities. So that customization is definitely in your hand. And that's the advantage that we try to really bring in together for all our customers.
Thank you, Saurabh.
Yep. Anything from anybody else? I'll hand it over to Prerna again.
Thank you, Saurabh. Thank you everyone for joining us today. We appreciate the time you took to engage, listen, and explore the rapidly changing landscape of cloud optimization and AI governance with us. So, world of cloud, SaaS, and AI is evolving faster than ever, and the organizations that will lead in 2026 are the ones that make informed, data-driven, and financially responsible decisions today. We hope the insights shared have given you clarity and direction as you strengthen your cloud optimization, governance, and FinOps strategies. Your feedback is incredibly valuable to us, and it helps us refine our sessions and services to better support your needs. You will now see a QR code on your screen. Please feel free to scan it now, or you can also check your inbox. We'll share the QR code there. Thank you once again for joining us. Have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.